This man was literally transforming the face of cooking in this country.
We revamped the pub tables and we had an outside toilet. And that was 1995, 16th of August. So tomorrow will be 30 years of the Fat Duck. There are so many dishes that people don't realise that I've done, and I'd like them to realise.
I had absolutely no idea where Heston's food was coming from. It was a complete revelation, and it was incredibly exciting because I thought you will only ever come across something like this once in a lifetime.
All the dodgy people in this area has heard that there's some naive young man that has bought this pub.
This was something pretty extraordinary that was going on in Bray, even if we didn't quite understand how extraordinary it was at the time.
When I opened in '95, I thought one day I could get a Michelin star, and I thought we deserved it. Crab ice cream was a groundbreaking dish. People loved it or hated it. When I called it crab ice cream, it was more shocking. If I said it was a frozen crab bisque, it was much more acceptable. And we did it with smoked salmon, so smoked salmon ice cream or frozen smoked salmon mousse. When it was called smoked salmon ice cream, it was found to be 15% saltier because ice cream's sweet. So you have an expectation of sweetness and you get salt. The gap between expectation and delivery was bigger. And that was the beginning of the multi-sensory experience. The Victorians were the biggest consumers in the world of turtles. They, for some reason, stopped eating turtles, made mock turtle, which was made from root veg. So it was one of the first British dishes that was embraced in France. And I was flicking through this encyclopedia of British cooking that I had, and I saw one of Tennille's drawings. And it was the mock turtle standing by a fireplace. And I looked at it and thought, holy shit, it's a turtle with a calf's head, calf's tail and calf's feet. And that's what's in mock turtle soup, the same thing. I wanted to try and follow the story of Alice. So we made the mock turtle soup from the original recipe. Alice, at the tea party, the Mad Hatter dipped his fob watch in the cup of tea. And that's what we wanted to do. And also it's got an egg in it. It's a turtle egg and it's round. The yolk was swede and the white was turnip, which were both in the original recipe. So I got the first star in '99. Then the second star came. When that happened, I went, oh shit, we need another sommelier. And then in 2004, the third star came and all hell broke loose. Probably from 2004 to 2008, I had a surge in creativity. And Bulli were doing their thing as well. We were doing different things, but we were paired because there were new things that were changing the world of gastronomy, but I didn't realise it.
My name is Matthew Ford. I'm a food writer and a greedy bloke living the dream. I first heard about the Fat Duck by a story that I think appeared in The Caterer, and it was about how Marco Pierre-White and Gordon Ramsay used to compete. They'd dash there on their days off to eat Heston's food. And I went there and I reviewed it. I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Welcome to the Fat Duck. As you can see, it's a nice big restaurant. The chairs were designed as one piece of leather, one cow for the chair, each chair, and they're designed as car seats. So the journey menu, which is the tasting menu, is like going on holiday. So you're going on a car drive, basically. It ties into the Michelin Guide. The wine cellar. 2,500 bottles here. Yeah, up here we have a light system that we can change the colour of the lighting. We do some wine experiments here where you change the colour and it changes the taste of the wine.
It's almost impossible to underestimate the profundity of the effect Fat Duck and Heston had upon food, not just restaurant food, but the food we eat at home as well.
Triple cooked chips I did 3 years before opening the Fat Duck. I wondered why chips went soggy, and I realised it was all the moisture in the inside of the chip coming to the outside of the chip and making the crust soggy. So I tried to dry the chip out. Came across the technique that I've developed now, and I suppose they've gone everywhere.
It should be Heston's triple cooked chips.
The soft runny Scotch egg as well. But those two really are more prominent here than in the duck. Do you know the definition of gastronomy? I didn't know until I researched it only a year ago. And it's the sourcing, preparing or cooking and eating good food. So it could be a sandwich. This place has a very interesting history with molecular gastronomy. And in that room over there, the founder of molecular gastronomy, they had their wedding reception. Okay, so just for the geography, here is the hind's head. Over there, with Tom outside, is the fat duck. And then we're going to go over here to one of the development kitchens. Okay, follow me. So Carl's going to bring us in.
Okay. Carl knows the code. Yeah. Which is great.
Yeah, Carl knows the code exactly. Aye.
You right?
Yeah, you?
Good, good.
So here we call them double jellies. It's orange and beetroot, but what looks like orange is golden beetroot, and what looks like beetroot is blood orange. So the flavours are swapped around. Calling Mark in as a tester.
Tell me what I'm eating, chef.
Double jelly, it's orange and beetroot. Let's start with the orange.
That tastes of beetroot. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
And that doesn't taste of beetroot, it tastes of orange.
It's blood orange. Yeah. Brilliant. So these are Planet Heston folders, which you can be for adults or kids. The thing we never lose the child in us.
Yeah, so it's a little pack. Get everything you need, and then it's just a little fun for the kids. So they can colour in the drawings, and then eat the whole thing.
Okay, so they're fruit/vegetable pastels, and they look like they're sweet, but they're made from savoury. They're vegetables. Try the blackcurrant.
Beetroot?
Do you know, we had a woman once, years ago. He puts it in the mouth and said, "Oh, it's nice, what's this?" It's beetroot. And she said, I don't like beetroot. He said, "Oh, it's blackcurrant." "Oh, that's nice." Just come from the lab over there, and we're now in the prep house, which also has a lab. So we're going to go in there now. This humongous machine produces these tiny little aerated beetroot meringues that we serve at the beginning of the dinner. And I'm going to let Carl talk you through it.
So we take hundreds of mini beetroots, baby beetroots, cut the tops off, juice them, then we put the juice into this rotor evaporator, and it's reducing it without cooking it.
So after it's gone through this rotary evaporator, end up with this super concentrated beetroot juice.
15 minutes, that's what you have.
So Carl's piping the foamed beetroot into a silicone mold, ready for the next stage. Just incredible how much work how many bits of equipment and the size of the bits of the equipment are used to make these tiny little things.
This went on the menu in 2011.
The main purpose of this is at the beginning of the menu, what happens is because the horseradish that sandwiches the two meringues, it triggers something called the trigeminal nerve, which runs across here, and it gets your appetite, stimulates your appetite and creates saliva, which makes the food more juicy.
So we're going to put them in the dehydrator now. Generally we leave them overnight, and then this is what is the outcome. I wanted to show you the breakfast cereal that we do as part of our journey menu. So we do a breakfast in a bowl.
Inspiration behind this is when I used to go to Cornwall for my holidays. It was like a 2-star hotel, but for breakfast you got a little packet of cereal in a bowl, or you could have a cooked breakfast. And I was in turmoil because I wanted both of them. So what we've done here is we've combined a cooked breakfast with cereal in a bowl, in a cereal packet. On the back of this, quite a lot of information on here. Ingredients: adventure, discovery, playfulness, curiosity, memories of childhood, and some flavouring. Vitamins and minerals. Yes, there's some there as well. So we're now in the sweet shop packaging room, and I'll hand you over to Sophie to explain what she's doing.
Hello, my name is Sophie. I'm the head pastry chef at the Fat Duck at the moment, and I'm going to show you the sweet shop that we have here right now in front of us. So the first thing we have here is the pecan pie caramel and the edible wrapper. These wrappers every day, and they come in these, we make them in petri dishes. So basically, you just sort of gently pull it out. I was lucky there. You end up with a caramel that's like all twisted in a little wrapper.
These are based on Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts, and she took some tarts. And inside these playing cards is probably the thinnest jam tart in the world. And then we package them in an envelope, which you'll see now, and the stamp gets dipped in liquid nitrogen. So that's chocolate and beetroot to seal the envelope.
And then we have the tobacco chocolate. So it's a dark chocolate shell filled with tobacco ganache. We have some tobacco liqueur inside as well. Okay, so here we have our tea cake. So sort of the idea, I think, based off afternoon tea. So we have a little scone biscuit at the bottom. It's an Earl Grey marshmallow and then an Earl Grey and bergamot gel at the top.
If Heston has a signature dish, and I wouldn't say he does, but it would be the sound of the sea.
We used to go to Cornwall for our holidays, and my memories were sort of sitting in the back of our parents' car with the boot open, wrapped in a towel, coming off the beach, cold sea, wet sand, eating a Cornish pasty. And one year my dad did well in his business, and we went to France. And he'd read about this restaurant called the Beaumanière in Provence, which had 3 stars. So we went there. I didn't know what an oyster looked like. I'd never eaten lobster. Definitely noise of crickets, the intoxicating smell of lavender, the noise of the feet of the waiting staff crunching on the gravel. The cheese trolley was the size of a chariot. The sommelier's handlebar moustache, and I might have made up, by the way, but I remember handlebar moustache. Leather apron, wine list this big like a billboard. Everything's bigger when you're smaller. The wine glasses were like this size. That was a really big drive in me creating what I now call multi-sensory gastronomy. I worked with somebody called Charles Spence at Oxford University, who put me in a sound box, put a microphone, headphones on me, and got me to eat crisps. And when he changed the frequency, it changed the texture of the crisps, and it became more stale. And then for some reason, I thought, what happens if you put the sound to go with the same thing you're eating? So we did oysters with the sound of the sea. We'd had the plates made, we'd had the dish done. It was just the sound. Carl, that was working for me at the time, he's got 3 stars now in America. Kyle just said, I'll put it on my phone, give it a go. The moment I heard it, I had a big grin on my face. And that was it. Kyle was the first person to have it. He came in with his parents. They came over from the States. And the 3 of them had the sound of the sea. And for Kyle, they put Surfing USA by the Beach Boys. After we got the 3rd star, I spent a year questioning why we got the 3rd star and what happens if we lose it. I think the 50 best, when it got number 1, I realised the 50 best is a transient thing and it caused pressure in development as well because you become fearful. There's a fantastic, downstairs there's a fireplace. It says, fear knocked on the door, faith answered, and no one was there. So if your belief is stronger than your fear, then you can continue. If your fear is stronger than your belief, it's a different story. Counting sheep, which is an idiom, it was designed as the part of the menu where you're getting ready to go to sleep.
So now that we have our Horlicks, which is just a drink to help us go to bed, we also have an eye mask. So feel free to put your mask on. Do not take it off unless you hear the lullaby. When you hear the lullaby, that will be the perfect time to take your masks off.
One of the most recognisable, appreciable smells is that of baby powder. So I looked at baby powder, I looked at the molecules in it, spoke to a perfumier and found out what food those molecules were in.
Do not forget talcum powder. Of course, this is edible talcum powder, Heston's and Heston's.
Of course.
The menu didn't seem to change, but the thing was that the dishes themselves changed so radically year on year on year that you might as well have been eating completely different menus. Counting sheep, because I probably fell asleep while I was counting them.
I hope you enjoyed meeting Heston. Stick around for part 2.
You have been very, very open about living with bipolar. Do you feel that's changed your relationship with creativity?